Hi, I'm Andrew Moy. In this video we're going to be talking about spey casting and how you can use spey casting for all of your fishing, not just salmon and steelhead fishing on your local salmon steelhead river. You can use this technique for a single-handed rod with a 6-foot 2/8. You can use it with a 12-foot 3-inch rod such as this one, which is a 7/8. You can use it with a 15-foot 10-weight. It's really a great technique that opens up a lot of doors for your fishing. It doesn't matter if you're freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, it really helps things. And really the main thing that it helps is you're not fully extending the line like you would in a single-handed cast. In a spey cast, you're anchoring the tip of the line to the water, and instead of fully extending the line, you have what's called a D-loop, which it goes back a lot less than a fully extended overhead cast. So to demonstrate real quick how a spey cast is useful, for one, I'm just going to show what's called a switch cast. I'm going to keep this cast just in line. What I mean by in line is I'm not going to change direction right now. I'm going to pick up the line from where it is. I'm going to place an anchor and form a D-loop. But before I do that, I'm going to do an overhead cast. And when I do an overhead cast, what I'm doing is I'm fully extending the line behind me. So in this case, my head here, the length of my fly line is about 42 feet out to the tip of my fly line. So I have a 42-foot back cast. Whereas if I spey cast, I've got about half of that. It's actually a little bit less than half of that. So I probably only have about a 15-foot back cast. And there's actually ways where you can place what's called your anchor, and I'll teach you more in this video series about your anchor, but where you can place your anchor out in front of you more and actually shorten your D-loop up and still make a very effective cast. Literally cast to 100 plus feet with the right setup. So we just did that overhead cast. Now I'm going to do a spey cast again, and you can watch how the tip of the line here hits the water. That anchors the rest of the line so that it can load the rod. If the tip of the line does not anchor to the water, the rod cannot load. It's almost like if you did an overhead cast and the line didn't fully extend in your back cast and you came forward prematurely. What happens is the line is not anchored. It hasn't straightened out, so the weight of the line cannot bend the rod. So in a spey cast, again, we need to anchor the line by putting the tip of the line in the water. The rest of the fly line, the rest of the belly that I'm casting here, is actually up in what's called a D-loop, and that D-loop is going to press and load on the rod, press and load the rod. So when I bring the rod back, that D-loop loads the rod. That's how my cast is executed, by forming an anchor and a D-loop. All of my spey casts always have an anchor and a D-loop. In this next cast I'm going to do, it's called a single spey, and I'm just going to breeze through a couple casts just to show you kind of how they work. The other thing I want you to notice when I do this single spey is how quickly and efficiently I can change direction. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to lift the rod, and I'm going to swing the rod around, touch the anchor to the water, and cast it out. And very quickly, again, I'm changing direction without false casting, without working hard. It's really an effective way to cast.